Hi friends, it's Jan. I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited that you are joining me. It's been a long time. It's been over 2 years. And there's some reasons for that. And I'm going to use this first little section to kind of get you caught up in case you are unaware of what's been going on, but also just kind of to let my heart settle down because I'm so excited. Like my eyes are welling up. I'm so thrilled to be back here with you. I'm going to explain a little bit about my setup here. I am not where you normally see me doing videos. That is because a couple of years ago, my precious Royce went home to be with the Lord. And just 5 days before that, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. And so we kind of had a family meeting and decided that Nashville by myself was probably not the place for me. So I have come to Dallas. I have moved to Dallas, and my sweet sister has set up a wonderful area in the game room for me to be creative. And I am so excited about that. But just as I got ready to start doing this, sharing with you again, the neighbors next door decided to build a house. And so that I don't get copyright strikes from the music that's being played, I am choosing to actually film in my niece's bedroom on a very small table. So we're gonna make the best of this because we're just so darn happy to be back together again. I kind of threw a couple of those things out there, like Royce passing away and me moving and finding out that I had Parkinson's, and all of those had a huge impact on my ability to be creative. Grief does what grief does, and it takes a little while for us to accommodate it and to get used to the new normal, if you will. I'm not ever going to forget Royce, stop loving him, but the Lord still has me here, and He has something for me to be doing. And that involves creativity, because that's who I am. I'm created in His likeness. I am made in the image of God, who is the creator. You are made in the image of God. You are creative. And so there's something about the creative process that is just so good for us. So because of Parkinson's, I can't do the sort of work that I used to do in my journaling Bible. And you know what? I thought maybe that meant that I wasn't going to be able to be creative anymore. But you know what? I've discovered that creativity just comes out. And I think that there might be a few of you that are struggling with maybe a season of life as well that would benefit from saying, let's do it anyway. We're not, if you ever took one of my classes, you know that I have always said the objective was not to create something that was going to hang on the walls of the Louvre, but to create something that we're pleased with and we can give as an offering of our creative self to the Lord. So that's what we're going to do. And There is a menagerie of cats and dogs that live in this house, so you will probably hear those sounds. We live on a fairly busy street that they are putting new water pipes in, so you're probably going to hear those sounds. And I'm just going to ask you to be patient with the whole process. I'm out of practice, and part of Parkinson's is sometimes having a hard time finding the right words. And so would you be patient with me for that as well? I would really appreciate it. In fact, this journal right here, this is not the journal we're going to be making. This is the one that I'm currently working in. But I called this the At a Loss for Words journal because it has been something that I have worked in to kind of process through what I was learning about myself, about my abilities, what I could do, what I can't do, and how to maybe do some of the things that I used to do in a different way. And that's what I want to encourage you with as well. I want you to know that no matter what your situation is, you can be creative too. And so I'm excited that you're coming on this journey of creating a simple little junk journal for Easter. And I'm going to clear this off and I'll be right back and we'll get started. So my goal for today is for us to begin to pick out some papers, and I want to start by introducing you to my printable collection. Clearly you do not need to use this if you already have exactly what you want to make your junk journal with, but I have created these and I wanted to show them to you. They're available over on Ko-fi.com/Jann Gray, and I'll put a description, a link down in the description below. But I just want to show you these papers. There's 10 of them. 5 of them are journaling pages. And I love this sweet little chick. And 3 of them are considered kind of backgrounds. You'll notice that I've included some of my Bible journaling art. This is one of my favorites. He is not here. It shows the empty tomb. And there's a background. And you'll notice I've already cut these down. My particular printer does not print all the way to the edge, but they are designed, if you have a printer that goes all the way to the edge, you can print all the way to the edge. Mine just kind of shrinks it down just a little bit. So here is another one of the pages. This is a combination of 2 of my Bible journaling. It's Friday, but Sunday's coming, with the crown of thorns and the cross with the draped drape. It's a drape. And the back of it. You can put the back, you can do back-to-back printing. That's what I've done with these. I've made sure you have enough journaling pages and background pages to back all of them up. And then here is one of the ephemera pages. I actually did this one smaller. This is its normal size, but I printed it out several times, smaller images, because I thought there might be a need for some smaller things. And then there's a page, and this one will look kind of strange, but we are going to make covered paper clips, hidden paper clips that will just clip onto the page. And they already have we will not have to decorate them. We'll do that in another session, but that comes with your printables. This is a free printable, and then there are a couple more of the free printables that that go along with this that are available over there on Ko-fi. So if you want to use the same papers, feel free to hop over there and pick those up and get those ready. I will tell you that I am going to be using a few other things as well. I'm probably going to use some paper doilies. I am probably going to use some book pages. I have a couple of copies of the Velveteen Rabbit, which is one of my all-time favorite. And so I'm probably going to, I've pulled out a couple of pages from it, and I think I'm going to use that. And then there is kind of one of the books that lots and lots of junk journalers use because the imagery is so pretty. She was an Edwardian lady. Her name was Edith Holden, and she wrote her diary and did illustrations. And so I've pulled out a couple of pages from that. They are copyright protected, so you would need to get a copy, but I've gotten several of them on Amazon, so you should not have any problem finding that. I probably will use some music paper, and I will probably use some tea-dyed paper. Oh, and something that you can do, I'm going to show you, is that if you are using the printables, you can print them out on vellum. I didn't know if you get printable vellum for your inkjet or your laser printer, you can print it out, any of the images out on this kind of paper. So that is really fun. And I've got just some plain straw paper that I'm probably going to use, and I may oh, you know that I have said my whole life that everything is a craft supply until proven otherwise, and this is just some packaging that came in my one of my Amazon orders, and I think it's going to show up in the our little mini album as well. I was going to show you a couple other options. If you are uncomfortable printing vellum, this particular paper stash by Tim Holtz called Wallflowers is just filled with vellum, and it has beautiful imagery like the eggs and the nest and really pretty spring florals. So I'll probably be pulling a couple things from there. I also have pulled out the memorandum paper stash. It just has great vintagey things as well. So those are probably the papers that I am going to use. And I thought what we would do today is get our cover ready. And to do that, again, I'm using something really, really, really simple. Let me see if I need to take this up a little bit so you can see better. So as I said, the thing that I want for us to do today is to get our cover put together. And I'm using this Amazon envelope because it's nice and soft and squishy. And the thing that we need to do to make certain we're making it the right size is we're going to take one of our pages that we plan to use. The thing about junk journaling is there's no rules, so we can have as many signatures as we want. I'm going to put it in here and grab a pencil or a pen and a ruler, and it looks like if I leave a little bit for maybe 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, that I want it to be about 9.5 inches tall and about 6 inches deep. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark with my ruler 9.5 inches tall. Give myself a little mark here. And draw along that line. And cut. Maybe going at it the other direction would be easier. I don't know. I like these soft bound, although we'll learn to make some of the hardbound books, but it's easy. It's easiest for us to start simple, right? Let's start simple. So we're going to mark 6 inches here, 6 inches here, and I'm going to draw a line. That's going to be our basic cover. We'll see if I can cut this straight this time. I'll turn around and go from the other side. And what that means is we have some open area here which we can just glue. You may want to leave it as a pocket, but I'm going to go and stitch all the way around on my sewing machine just to make sure that it's good and solid, and then I'll be back and we'll get this thing painted. To begin with, I'm just going to cover it with some basics acrylic gesso. White acrylic paint would work just as well. Just going to put a little out. One of the things I'm thinking about doing, I'm going to add some acrylic paint to this when I'm done, in some soft pastels. But I am thinking about adding some lace over the outside of it. I found one of the things that has been fun since I have moved back to Dallas is that I've discovered that there is a really fun little thrift shop. Our Goodwill is pretty good too, but there's a really fun thrift shop that does some wonderful ministry things, and so it's fun to go in there and see what they have. And a couple weeks ago I found, I guess they were putting things out to show for Easter, and I saw this cute and little, and may I say very little, it was a size extra small, white dress that was a overlay of lace. And that little dress, although it will never fit on my body, and that's okay, I took it apart, and it's going to be beautiful as a covering for my journal. But in fact, let me show you what this is. The lace. This is the front of the dress. This is how small the dress was. But isn't that just so pretty? It's just gorgeous. And so I thought that we would paint this, and then once it is dry, we will put I am not going to paint the inside because I'm going to cover it with paper. Just want to get a basic coat of the gesso on. Right now. Guys, I am so excited about being back. I hope that we can maybe even do some lives and who knows what as I kind of get back in the swing of things. You know, it kind of all came to a halt with the you know what, and then life kind of changed. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay. I'm going to dry this with my heat tool. You're not going to want to listen to that, so let me dry it and I'll be right back. Okay, it is pretty dry. There's a few little wet spots, but you know what? We're going to put more acrylic paint on top of it. I am using Dina Wakley's acrylic paint, and I'm just going to put some out here on my palette. And I've kind of chosen some pastels because Easter-ish colors. And it's only going to be seen through the lace anyway, so I'm not going to worry about painting something beautiful on the cover. I want to just get some color in the background. You can hear Mira, my little puppy. That's probably our boldest color there. Let's see. Let me bring these in where you can see them, and I will show you what colors I'm using. Orchid, Sky, Heather, Mineral, and Sage. That's such a pretty color. And to put them on with, I'm going to do a really sophisticated technique with a sponge that I've cut up. Okay, so let's Get a little bit on here, and I'm just going to pounce color all over. Mix it together. For the blues and the greens, I may get a little bit different brush, but you know what, they're all going to mix in together eventually. I just want to get it pounced and covered so I can show you how we're going to put the cover on. And my goal is for there not to be any harsh lines, so I'm just picking up and dabbing wet onto wet where there seems to be a little bit of harshness. I'll just go in with something that kind of can soften that. I'm going to use the sage now. It's just going to look like a little muted background underneath that lace. That's my goal. It's just to get a little bit of color so that when the lace has a little openings, that we will read pretty Easter colors through it. Okay. I'm gonna do this in real time for you. This is an easy technique that anybody can do. You just keep dabbing until you like what you see. It's great. If you're a card maker, this is a great way to make a background as well. Just dab. Just a dab will do ya. Whoops. We've got a little lighting issue here. Folks, I appreciate you bearing with me. It's going to get better and better and more professional as we go along. I apologize that I waited so long, but you know, I needed to let the Lord work through just some tough things with me, and He has. And I know that you've heard me say this so often, but it is so true. The time to start training for a marathon is not the day before. The time to figure out that God is good is not, the best time isn't when you find yourself in the thick of things. Now, you know what? He's going to show up and He's going to be good anyway, no matter what. And I'm grateful for that. But I am so grateful that prior to Royce going home to be with the Lord, prior to Weston going home to be with the Lord, and the whole situation of my life changing, I'm glad I knew that God was good, because I could lean into Him and I could trust Him. I knew I could trust Him. I knew He was trustworthy. I knew He was good. And I have been blessed to be able to be here with my sister and my nieces and nephews. I don't know if you know, she is also a widow. And so it's a blessing for all of us to be together. My eldest niece got married this summer. That was so much fun. So much fun. Watching her and Chase start their life together has just been, you know, it's just so good for your heart when you see the goodness of the Lord working in other people's lives. He is a pastor. Chase is a pastor. He's a youth pastor. He's a college ministry pastor. And so if you think about it, pray for him. On Tuesday nights, he leads a Bible study called The Table on Tuesday nights. And my niece is on staff with Student Venture. So they are just in the thick of it themselves. And it's so fun to watch them figure out life and ministry and all of those things. It's good for my heart. And it was good for my creative process because, you know, we had to make a lot of wedding things. We had to make wedding books, and even though I thought I was maybe not able to do what I have always done, you know what? We can do it differently. And where there's a will, there's a way. And that's what I'm here to encourage you with. I want you to believe that you can be creative. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna call that done. Isn't that kind of a fun, just little modeled background? I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna show you how we're going to put the lace on it. Now that it's dry, I thought I'd show you how pretty it's going to look. I mean, the colors just will go so well with it. Is he not the cutest little bunny? Oh my goodness. Just want to scratch his ears. Okay, so now let's put the lace on. It's totally easy. I have been watching a couple of folks on YouTube, and one of them is Pam from the Paper Outpost, and I actually have a link to her Etsy shop because she had some cute little bunnies that I ended up printing off. So we're just going to put this down here, and you know what? We're going for ish. How's that? Just want to make sure I have enough to cover. Get around the corners. Okay, and I'm going to cut a little off here. And I will put this into my scrap. I have started keeping all kinds of little bits and bobs because there's always something that you can use them for. So that's going to fit really nicely. And do you see what I mean? It just reads a little bit Easter through that, but the lace itself is just so pretty. Now, the glue that I'm going to use is actually Fabrifix, and I've put that in the list down below, a link to it. But I've also put a list to this Sweet Sugar Bells icing bottle. I like it. I actually put the Fabrifix into this bottle for a couple of reasons. One, it has a metal tip. Secondly, it's it's so much easier to squeeze. And with my particular hands, that is a plus. Now, this is just a straight pin, I mean a little sewing pin with a ball on the end of it that I've stuck on the end of a needle stopper. Hello, Mira. It's good to hear you. Thanks for encouraging us. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Fabrifix is silicone glue. It goes fabric to fabric, fabric to paper, paper to paper. So I like using it for putting this application on. And so I'm just going to kind of put it all over half of it. Just everywhere, 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 everywhere. Really good along the edges. Okay. And then I'm going to fold this over, making sure I have plenty to fold around the page and pat it down. And this dries pretty quickly. Fabri-Tac grabs hold. And you can just rub it off your hands. It's kind of like, do you remember that glue that we had, or maybe you didn't have it? I think they called it rubber cement back in the day. But you would put it on your fingers and you could just rub it right off. Well, this is exactly like that. So Fabrifix, I have it in the link down in the description. If you all have any questions, please send me a direct message on Instagram. I'm Jann Gray there. It is not very easy for me to communicate on YouTube. So go to Instagram or Facebook and leave me a message there if you have any questions. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm stretching it just a little bit. And I'm going to make a little topper to go on this in one of our future videos. But for today, the only thing we're going to do is we're going to get this lace wrapped around. Just giving it just a second to dry. Then I'm going to turn it over and to make nice little neat corners. You want to kind of take a little notch out of each corner. Hold on to that extra lace because I've got stuff for us to do with that. And we're going to put our Fabrifix. I'm going to do this side first. And like I said, I'm going to cover the inside with some scrapbook paper. So I'm not super worried, other than just making sure I've got it good and glued down. Now we'll go down this side. We'll be putting something over this, so it'll get a double helping of glue. Just gonna pull this down, make that corner nice and neat. This way, put our glue here. Pull it in just a little bit to give it a little extra hold, and a little on top there. Pull this in. We're helping the environment by using recycling things that otherwise would be in a landfill somewhere. I'm going to glue this one. Put it down. So, your assignment, should you choose to accept it, is to get your papers picked out and cut down to the size that you're going to want them, and go ahead and get your cover made to this stage. Get it, if you're going to paint it. If you're going to cover it with cloth, go ahead and do that. You don't have to do lace. You could do any sort of fabric that you might have. You may have some quilting fabric that is just screaming to be made into an Easter journal. So I'm just gonna make sure all these edges are down, and I will be back for part 2. And I think in that, what we will do is we'll work on our signatures. We'll do that next. But look what we have accomplished today. We have gotten our cover made and covered, and we've begun to think about what pages we have, what papers we're going to be using. I will be back really soon. It is so good to be with you. If you are new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. That helps. It's been a couple of years, and so YouTube thinks nobody wants to watch me. So if you will hit the like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it if you're not already a subscriber. And I'll be back really soon. Be sure and let me know if you have any questions. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.